Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another vlog. I have been going through a lot of things with my cat Riff Raff lately. If you've watched my YouTube channel for any amount of time, you've probably seen him pop up here and there in my YouTube videos. He is my baby, he's my life. I love Riff Raff so much. I have been dealing with some issues with his eye. About a year ago, I started noticing his eye was watering all the time, like just very consistently watery eye. I constantly am picking eye boogers out of his eye. His third eyelid has been very prominent and been out this entire time. By this entire time, I mean like the past year. So I took him to a vet when this all began, and they told me that it was all good, NBD, here's some eye drops, don't worry about it, this is normal. And here we are about a year later, and nothing has changed, except it's actually gotten worse. His third eyelid has come out even more so. Oh, here he comes. Hi, honey. Do you see? This is his bad eye. His other eye is totally normal. Nothing is off about that eye at all, which is how I know that that one is the bad one, because they are so easily comparable. Very watery. He even has an eye booger now. He doesn't even like to open it that much now. He did let me like fully open his eye and take a photo of it earlier, so I'll insert that here just to be putting this information out there if you're dealing with something similar with your cat. So I took him to the vet again yesterday because his pupil is now dilated in that eye. It's totally blown out. It hasn't been like a cat eye in a long time. Not really like a long time, but at least a month that has been happening. So I took him to the vet yesterday. That was a $200 vet visit. The doctor basically said that it's very likely he has glaucoma. She said she couldn't diagnose him with glaucoma because she doesn't have the machine that reads the pressure on the eye that you need to indefinitely say like, yes, this is glaucoma. She also told me that he was blind in that eye already, and the best option to go forward is to remove his eye. That sounds really dramatic. That sounds very drastic to me. That seems like the last resort. Like that seems like the thing we want to try and probably do last. That's super redundant. You know what a last resort is, hello. So for those reasons, I talked to two other vets today. I did two little video calls. One of the apps is called First Vet and the other app was called Air Vet. They both worked. One was $32, one was $30. That was another $60 I spent today to get a second and third opinion on what could possibly be wrong with his eye and if it's something that needs to be removed. The first vet that I talked to said that he would recommend that I go to an animal ophthalmologist. And the second vet that I talked to said, forgive me, I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation, but Lenticular, Lenticular sclerosis. She said it's not painful, it does not affect their vision. Here's an article about it. So based off of those two diagnoses, I made an appointment with a cat ophthalmologist, and that was $140. I'm not fully convinced, to be super real, I'm not fully convinced that he's actually blind in that eye. It does seem like he is responsive, at least to me, you know, like when I'm like moving my hand and stuff, it does seem like he can like still see on this eye. However, it doesn't seem like he's seeing the best. Like I do notice he turns his head a lot to see with his good eye, but I don't know if this is something that can be managed with medication and ointments and treatments and stuff like that. I would much rather manage that than just totally remove my cat's eye. That just seems like a very dramatic step to take if it's something that could be managed, especially if he does still have vision in that eye. So yeah, welcome to my cat vlog. I'm going to be taking him to the vet on Friday, or the ophthalmologist on Friday. So that's where we are now. I'll see you on Friday. Well, hello, I'm back. It's time to play good news and bad news. Let's start with the good news. Good news is the ophthalmologist said that Riff Raff does not have glaucoma. Riff Raff is also not blind in that eye, and removing it would do nothing. Hooray. Bad news is it's more than likely something more serious than that. They have now narrowed it down to either some kind of fungal infection or possibly leukemia. He dropped the C word, he dropped the cancer word. I'm terrified of that. I hope my cat doesn't have cancer. That would fucking suck. But it is definitely not glaucoma. My cat for sure does not have glaucoma. The doctor reiterated that removing his eye would do nothing. That would not solve the problem that he has. They did say that whatever this problem is, it is present in both of his eyes. Did not know that. Really was hoping it was just that one eye, but it is present in both of his eyes. It's just far worse in that one eye, but he is not blind in that eye. That is exactly what I suspected. I didn't feel like he was blind in that eye. I felt like he could see out of that eye just fine. He doesn't seem to be in any immediate pain. I got a little goodie bag full of eye drops, eye ointment, and a liquid medication that I have to give him. This one is twice a day. This one's 3 times a day. This one is twice a day in one eye, 3 times a day in the bad eye. Hooray. You know the vet is gonna be expensive when they give you a folder to put all your paperwork in. Oh my God. Okay, so today we did examination and consultation, referral notes, smear tear test, glaucoma pressure check, corneal stain, retinal exam, eye examination, histoplasma test, feline retrieval. I think those are the 2 blood workups that they sent out for. One of them is gonna check for a fungal infection. One of them is gonna check for leukemia. Doxycycline suspension. I'm assuming that's one of the medications that they gave me. Diclofenac solutions. Those are the eye drops. And 1 big word, ointment. Just the eye ointment. So the bad news is today's doctor visit comes to a grand total of $733.27. Like I said, we have a follow-up appointment in 2 weeks to get the results and go over everything and see how he's been reacting to this medication. We have no answers right now. We don't know what it is. What I do know is it is not glaucoma. He is not blind in that eye. We do not have to remove my cat's eye. Hallelujah. I don't think I'll ever be returning to that vet that I originally took him to again, and the reason for that is I just got a bad vibe. She was very pushy about, we really need to schedule this surgery. You really need to have your cat's eye removed. We need to do this as soon as possible. It's very urgent. And the doctor that he saw today is now my 4th doctor that I've had the pleasure of speaking with, and 3 out of 4 of them never even brought up eye removal, but that first one that I took him to was very pushy. Also, sad but true, when I went to put Riff Raff in his carrier for today's appointment, he was like really fighting it. He did not want to go in that carrier. He was like, no, absolutely not. And he's usually really not like that. And I think it's because he didn't like that first vet either, or it's a coincidence. Either of those things are totally possible, but I do feel good about getting a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th opinion about my cat, because removing your cat's eye is a dramatic thing. Like, that's a very dramatic thing, but it just like really like, ouch, like hit me. So I am really glad to find out that she was wrong. He doesn't have glaucoma. He does not need his eye removed. To hear that, had I just believed the first vet, had I just been like, okay, well shit, you're telling me I need to remove my cat's eye and it's urgent and I need to do it, let me schedule this surgery, I could have gone ahead and done something that would have not only been bad for my cat, because it would have blinded him obviously permanently in that eyeball by removing it, but it also wouldn't have solved the issue at all. Like the doctor said, whatever the issue is, it is present in his other eye. So it's like that wouldn't have solved anything. So yeah, I'm done with that doctor. We're done. If you live in Cincinnati, send me a DM on Instagram and I'll tell you the name of the place if you're trying to avoid it, or if you want to know if you already go there, send me a DM on Instagram. But otherwise, I'm not gonna like just put their name in this video, because that's, I don't know, that crosses a moral boundary for me. But if you want to actually know, I'll tell you. So now I have the fun process of administering this medication to my kitty. Wish me luck. Here we go. Just 1 drop is all we need. Boop. Good. Good job. Good boy. Boop. Good job. Good boy. Oh, there we go. Good job. Good boy. Riff. Oh my god. Oh my god. That wasn't fun for either of us, okay? Like, I didn't enjoy that. We'll check back in when we have results. I just got off the phone with the vet and we have answers. Hallelujah. We finally have answers to what the hell is going on with my cat. Not glaucoma, it's not cataracts, it's nothing like that. It's not leukemia, hooray, not cancer. However, it is histoplasma. Is that what you guessed? Not what I guessed. So bad news, good news, we have a diagnosis. He has histoplasma. It is a fungal disease that is typically found in cats 4 or younger, and it is typically caused by inhaling soil that has been shit in by bats or birds. I've mentioned this before. If you know me in real life, you know I have always had issues with Riff Raff eating houseplants. That's why I have fake plants, is he eats any and every plant that I ever have tried to bring home. So it's very possible and very likely that he has inhaled some soil. They asked a lot if he was an outdoor cat for that reason, and I was like, nope, strictly indoors. He's gotten out by accident once in his life, and that was years ago. I actually filmed a video, oddly enough, on that day, and I was like distressed the whole time because that was when he lived with my mom, not me. You're like, why aren't you looking for your cat? I would have been. But anyways, what do we do from here? Well, 2 things. First things first, we have to get him started on new medication. Still have to continue giving him eye drops and eye gel every day, but they are giving him a new liquid medication, and that is specifically to treat the fungus in cats. So I'll have that in a day or 2, but other than that, they do recommend that I go talk to an internal medicine specialist. So they have recommended me to yet another doctor. Yay, more money, more problems. And that is because they would really like us to get some chest x-rays on Riff Raff and just make sure, because basically this is a fungal virus. This virus or fungal disease doesn't start in your eyes. It's not necessarily an eye disease. It starts in your lungs. And so there's a chance that there's something else going on that needs to be treated and looked at, because the medicine that they're giving us is specifically for this fungus, but it really is only gonna help his eyes, I think. I don't know. That's my like baseline understanding of everything right now. $115 a month for the medication. He for sure has to be on it for 2 months, but probably more than likely we're looking at 4 to 6 months of being on that medication. Always worth having a happy, healthy pet. It'd be cool if he pitched in. Just like at all, it'd be sick, but it's okay. It's my responsibility as his parent to cover these costs. It's, you know, you're gonna do anything for your baby. So yeah, so that's our next step. It's getting chest x-rays and getting him checked out by an internal medicine specialist. I'll update you guys when I know more. Good morning, guys. It's time for another update about Riff Raff. I guess it's been about a week or 2 since I last checked in. So Riff Raff has been taking his medication for the fungus that he has. He hates it. I was having a lot of luck mixing it in with his food, but then it seems like he's not eating all the time now, so I can't guarantee that he's taking it. So I have been having to give it to him orally, which he hates with a fiery passion, which means I hate doing it. It's not fun for either of us. He is having a major side effect from this medication, which is like utter and insane lethargy. I have never seen Riff Raff lethargic in my life. He's a very active cat. He's very friendly. He's very like up my butt all the time. I love it. But he has been so just 0% energy, like literally on a scale of 1 to 100%. Like if he was a phone battery, he would be at like 5% at all times lately. He just has absolutely no energy. He's eating fine, he's drinking fine, he's seemingly using the bathroom fine, but he's also doing this thing where he's like laying in new spots that he's never laid in before. Currently, he is up on top of our fridge behind a 24-pack of water because that's where he feels safest. He's also been on top of our kitchen cabinets, which he's never done in this house before. He's been hanging out on the kitchen counters a lot, which he's never done before. before. He was in my bathtub last night, which he's never done before. He's hanging out in a lot of places that he never normally hangs out in. My husband and I watched Castaway last night, and I picked up Riff Raff and just like held him like the little baby he is, and he just laid on top of me literally that entire movie. Castaway is like 2.5 hours long. Like, he did not move the entire time. He has no energy. He is so sad. It makes me really sad. So the update to that being, first of all, he's having side effects. Second of all, I took him to the vet again yesterday. I took him to a new, different vet because, as you probably gathered, I didn't like the first vet that I took him to. I don't trust her anymore after telling me that I need to have my cat's eye removed and that he's totally blind in that eye, and then finding out he's actually not blind in that eye and removing his eye would do nothing. I just don't trust that vet anymore, and I don't like them anymore. So I took him to a different vet yesterday because the ophthalmologist did recommend that I get x-rays done on him just to make sure that this fungus isn't in his lungs or causing any other issues, as well as Riff Raff started doing this really cool thing where he is peeing outside of his litter box. Now, this is something he was doing before I ever brought him into a vet at all. I don't know if I ever admitted that on camera, but surprise, he was. He was peeing all in our bonus room. We have a bonus room. It's a big empty room basically because we don't know what to do with it, but it's the only room in this house that's carpeted. And I got a black light so I could see where he was peeing, and I've been cleaning it all the time. I am like 99% sure that whoever lived here before us had a cat and they had peed in that room because there's a lot of urine under furniture that we have had in there since we moved in. So I'm fairly certain that's kind of what triggered Riff Raff to start peeing in there, was he was smelling it. And ever since we moved in, he's been fascinated with that room, like smelling the carpet intensely all the time. However, I did get new litter that he hated, and that's what I attributed to him peeing outside of his litter box. I was like, oh, he clearly hates this litter. Let me switch it back. So got rid of that litter, switched it back to his regular litter, and I was like, problem solved, right? Wrong. I thought it was solved. I thought he was no longer peeing outside of his litter box. I was wrong. My husband accidentally left the bedroom door open the other day, and he peed in our bed, which is such a bummer because I like literally just washed the sheets. I was like, cool. So he peed in our bed, which is, cats don't do that. Like, that's not a side effect of something. That's not something that cats do when they're like pissed at you. Like, cats don't pee outside of their litter box unless something is wrong. That is their way of like kind of telling you like, yo, something's wrong here. So I started to get really concerned at that point. And then the day before I was able to get him a vet appointment because it was the weekend, he peed in our bed on Saturday, and then Sunday night he peed on the bathroom mat. And I watched him do it, like full eye contact the whole time. I was like, there he goes. He's gonna pee on your bath mat. There he goes. Yep, he's upset. Something's wrong. All that to say, I took him to a new other vet who I had a much better experience with. I liked that vet a lot more. I think this is gonna be his new like primary care vet. Took him there yesterday, and as per the ophthalmologist's request, got x-rays done on Riff Raff. Luckily, the vet said he didn't find anything abnormal on the x-rays. He didn't see any kind of anything going on with his lungs, which is great because the fungus that he has is something that typically lives in the lungs. He didn't see any abnormalities with his kidneys, his liver, no gallstones, no bladder stones, no liver stones. We got blood work and a urinalysis done on him at the first vet, and that vet looked over the paperwork for that time, and he was like, there's nothing odd about his urine, there's no crystals in his pee or anything like that. So basically the only thing we could really determine yesterday was he's upset about this medication, which doesn't fully make sense to me because, like I said, he was maybe peeing outside of the litter box before any of this, but it could just all be coincidental. Like, this could be a new separate issue because it doesn't seem like he's peeing in the bonus room anymore. It seems like he's peeing in places that we should notice it now, you know? And he prescribed him an antibiotic for a UTI. He was like, he probably just has a mild UTI. He said that his bladder did look a little like backed up on the x-ray, and he also said he did look a little constipated. So he told me to mix in a 1/4 teaspoon of Miralax into his food every day. I have that coming in the mail, I think tomorrow. And to keep him on this antibiotic for a full week or until the antibiotic is totally gone. And hopefully that resolves the issue. It's just so sad. Like, I called the other vet, I called the ophthalmologist yesterday to make sure that it's safe to take this medication with the medication that he's currently on, and they said it's totally fine, no big deal. And they were totally unconcerned about the lethargy. They were like, that's pretty normal. They said that the reason that that's happening is because it's killing the fungus inside of him, so it's like it's working basically. So as upsetting as it is for me to like see him this way, it's actually a good thing. It's just, it's really challenging for me. His eye doesn't look any better. Things don't look better yet. It's been, I think today's day 6 or 7. So it's really just starting to ramp up now. He's only been acting super weird the past like 3 to 4 days. I'm hoping that subsides sometimes. I'm hoping he's not like this the entire duration of this medication, because it's very likely that he can be on this medication for 2 to 6 months, like a while. Is this video interesting to anybody? I don't know. I just started making it and now I can't stop. Hey, hello, welcome back. Welcome to the final installment of How Much Have I Spent on My Cat. I'm sitting here in front of all of the paperwork, all of the bills. There are quite a bit, all the x-rays, like literally everything I've been through with my cat in the past 3, almost 4 months now. And for the first time ever, I'm going to add it all up and see how much I've actually spent on my cat, because he had something called histoplasmosis. Final prognosis, he no longer has histoplasmosis. Hallelujah. He was on a medication, I'm looking it up on my phone, called intrafungal for 2 months in combination with eye drops and eye gel. And the intrafungal medicine killed the virus, totally killed the fungus, whatever it is. He did act really weird for like a month on that medication, and his eye did look worse in that time, but that was basically the fungus slash virus dying, and that's why he was acting so depressed. Like, he was really depressed. But now he is back to his same old usual frisky self, except more so because I'm pregnant. I think he knows I'm pregnant, so he's like up my butt all the time now. I'll grab him in a second so you can see how his eye is pretty much totally fine now. His pupil is still a little dilated, but we're still using eye drops every day, and he has a checkup appointment in 2 months. First vet appointment was $195.75. That was just a checkup slash they did some blood work while we were there, and also that was the vet that told me he needed his eye removed, which he did not. I spent $60 on vet bills from like apps, from like phone vets. I did 2 different phone vet visits, and both of them said I should definitely go talk to another doctor. Here's the big one. Here's the other doctor I went and talked to. Show everyone your eye. Show everybody your eyeball. Ta-da! There we go. His eye's pretty much better. Hi, say I'm okay now. I'm okay now. Oh, sweet boy. That vet appointment was super expensive. That was $733.27. Nearly shit myself when they gave me that bill. The medication that he was on, intrafungal, is $113 per month. So we got a bill for that. Had to do that twice. Here's another vet bill from a different vet that I took him to because he was peeing outside of his litter box. So I went to get him checked out to make sure he didn't have a bladder infection. They put him on medication for a UTI to clear it up, just in case he did have that, as well as performed full body x-rays to make sure that the histoplasmosis hadn't been growing inside of his lungs or anything, since it is primarily a lung issue. That visit was $252, and this is now going to be my new primary cat physician. We have a bill for his recheck as well as eye drops. That was $141.88. We have another recheck. There was a lot of checkups involved, obviously. First they were seeing him like 2 weeks, every other week. It was just like a lot. And that was $95. And last but certainly not least, we have our final bill from our last visit where they rechecked him for histoplasmosis, prescribed him more intrafungal because they do recommend that he's on this intrafungal for another month, even though the fungus has come back negative. But they said it's really hard to kill and it could come back, so they just recommend him being on it for another month. So that's what we're doing. And that appointment came out to a whopping $457.78. Wow. Which, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to a grand total of $2,161.93. So that happened. I saved my cat's eyeball though. I mean, like he doesn't have to have his eye removed. There's that at least. I spent over $2,000 to clear up that infection. Hooray. That's why I haven't been able to save money this year. I moved. Moving is incredibly expensive, or can be. I mean, it's not incredibly expensive, but it is costly. And then my cat got this random eye infection. And yeah, that's pretty much my savings for the year, was those two things. I mean, for the year thus far. But now I'm pregnant, so like now I have to save all my money for a baby anyways. So now I'm just like, I'll never have money to myself again. Like, okay. I guess this is just how my life's gonna be now. But yeah, I am not a vet, but I do have experience with a cat having histoplasmosis. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. If I can answer them, I totally will, and I'll get back to you as soon as I see them. If I can't answer them, I won't. Thanks for coming on this journey with me. I'm very glad that Riff Raff is okay. I'm glad he doesn't have to have his eye removed needlessly. I have left that vet a lengthy Yelp review expressing my feelings about how much she pushed that surgery on me. It has not sat well with me or aged well with me. The more time that goes on, the more upset I am. How pushy she was about how he needed this surgery and we needed to do it urgently. Turns out he didn't need surgery. He just needed to be treated for the actual problem. So yeah, my best advice to you is if you ever feel like somebody's telling you like, oh, cut your child's arm off, maybe get a second opinion. Maybe it might be worth your child's arm. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm sure this video is super long, so I'm gonna go, but thanks for watching. Thanks for caring about my cat. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.